Oh no, the camera's gone weird. What's the giant attack at hand? Oh! Oh! Okay, break it to you, gentle viewers, but I'm officially cheating on the minions because...
Ta-da!
This is Maggie. Maggie's a friend.
Yep.
And is currently staying over, and she insisted I watch Pokemon the third movie because she is an evil creature with terrible, inhuman desires, such as making me watch Pokemon.
So sweet of you to notice.
So I just had to watch Pokemon.
So patrons, if you want to make Zaya watch a Diamanda Hagan watch Pokemon, all you have to do, befriend her at a convention, spend years getting to know her, and then spend money on both a copy of Pokemon and a ticket to Ireland.
Also, you have to buy me a copy of Begotten, because, you know, my review of Begotten, thanks to her.
Yep, it's a very simple process. So to sum up this movie very quickly, a hive mind of sapient calligraphy kidnaps a girl's father and tries to make it up to her by making her god.
This is an extreme metaphor for the little girl's drug addiction. There's a reason she's called Molly.
Yeah, so what did you think, Zaya?
Why, oh 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 why. Also, I totally called it that the dad was going to be was going to be a lion.
I don't think he was. I think he was just sort of used because he didn't recognise her and he went away.
Yeah, because he suppressed his true personality. He's totally a lion. The Wilfred Brimley lion. Mm. Now, just so you know, my experience with Pokemon is rather limited. I remember being greatly irritated by the cartoon. I remember being greatly irritated at being forced to see the first film. I remember playing through one of the first generation Game Boy ones. I remember playing both the Fantasy England ones, because they're very simple to play and easy to play while watching films, so it's just like... I tried the Fantasy Spain one, and I found it so irritating. Its 3D mapping is so fucking janky, I couldn't work out how to get to place, and so I decided to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the Switch instead.
Yeah, I was having the same problem with the Spanish one. So yeah, that one, I would have shown you the first one, but you've seen it already.
Yeah.
That one I think is the best of the original bunch of Pokemon movies. I like it because it really, I mean, they kind of ruin it by giving her parents back, but I think it's a great reflection on a child dealing with grief. You know, she's picking what she wants on the fly, and she sees new influences because she's a kid and she's still learning. Like, ooh, I want to be that. Ooh, I want to be that. You know.
Would have been far better with the Time Bandits ending, where the parents explode.
Yes. So, has this endeared you at all to Pokemon?
I did notice that for all of like 3 seconds, Brock did not hit on the 3-year-old in the body of the 17-year-old, even though he knew it was a 3-year-old in the body of the 17-year-old. He took milliseconds before he actually started hitting on her. So he's evolving like a Pokemon.
I think that was meant to be big brotherly, but it's sort of at the same time, I was like, oh god, Brock did go there, didn't he?
Brock did go there. Brock attempted to go there. In other senses.
And then Brock remembered that the whole thing was being filmed by a news crew and decided not to.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that Professor Oak's voice in one line sounded a lot like Maddie Blaustein. It's not the same actor. So I'm guessing either that was just a weird thing like Aragorn sounding Northern Irish in one line in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Or possibly Blaustein went in there and played the part as a pickup, which is possible.
Bill Nye in Dead Man's Chest, when he hasn't figured out what he wants his accent to be yet, and he sort of, at one point he sounds sort of French or almost Dutch, when he's supposed to be Scottish.
That way, you'd think they would ADR that, but with Aragorn's one, I got the feeling it was he was trying to just sound generically British, and it just came out as Northern Irish. And the line is, if you want to find it for yourself, it's when they're going to Weathertop, and he turns towards the hobbits and he says, "We'll camp here tonight." he sounds like he's doing an Irish accent, and it is funny. But this we got make-believe Pokemons battling other make-believe Pokemons because Pokemon itself is make-believe, so it's very meta in that sense. You've got this seems to be taking place in Fantasy Holland because the green field or whatever you call it. It's got lots of tulips and it's got like poppy sort of. It looks like poppy fields. I was expecting them all to get drugged like in Wizard of Oz. But no, instead it's a big crystalline structure, which is, looks a little bit like the thing in Ghostbusters 2, but spikier. Also, the inside of it, you got these random sort of lines with balls in them, and looking a little bit like Mobius's work, but also inside of Unicron in Transformers the movie.
And you've got sort of Team Rocket being basically... it's almost like the film sort of wondered if people would be questioning it and had Team Rocket there to answer all the fan nitpicks. Like, wait, how are we breathing underwater? It's a film, go with it.
Team Rocket seems to have been scripted with the effort of any adults who are forced to watch it aren't irritated. To make them less angry so they're less likely to shoot up a cinema. Because, this was made for an American audience and that kind of thing happens in America.
Yeah, I liked how they handled the story, the through line of this girl with her grief, and she's got these powers and she's got to learn to let go. And I think for Pokemon they actually managed to tackle that through line quite well. It's probably the closest it's come to really good emotion. Early movies came to really good emotionally mature storytelling.
Would it be much simpler if they'd have stabbed her?
Oh yeah, you started the film hoping the girl would be stabbed. No one gets stabbed in Pokemon. They get electrocuted, they get burnt, they get their mind warped.
All of those things being more dangerous than being stabbed. The stabbing is comparatively easy to survive. It is hard to kill someone in one stab.
And then, in one episode of the show, that Charizard, got its life force almost destroyed by a torrent of water, but no, they don't get stabbed.
Yeah, which is weird because, stabbing is so much harder to kill someone with. Usually if someone's a stabbing victim, unless they're very unlucky, you gotta stab them multiple times to kill them.
I mean, did you know, by the way, that the Charizard, the Fire Tail, that gets put out, it dies?
That makes perfect sense. I did not notice that. Then again, because the Pokemon games I'm most experienced with are the ones set in Fantasy Britain, so my big experience with fire Pokemon there is the Fire Rabbit thing.
Speaking of the fire Pokemon, Pokemon got surprisingly hardcore a bit in that fight, because at one point the Entei just has his paw on Charizard's neck and is about to basically deliver an atomic fireball to the thing's face.
Oh, like in Godzilla.
Yeah. Like, that's always, mostly it's just kind of almost like play fighting with special effects, but it's like, neck stomp, blast right in the face. Like, I'm pretty sure he could have blown the poor thing's head off.
But, would have been fun. That would have greatly improved the film, I agree. Words. I'm very tired. It's her fault.
Really? Are you sure it's not your fault for staying up until 5 a.m?
No, it's always your fault. I was staying up and editing last night, and
yes, because I chose her career for her, clearly.
Yeah.
I think she's still bitter about the time I sent her a movie I hadn't even watched.
Also responsible for Hidden 3D, if you saw that fucking film with the children was born out of addiction, and it's Italian, and there are so many fucking jump scares. There's a billion fucking jump scares, and then there's a big sea of snow at one point, and you're like, this is where the budget went. Cocaine.
Yeah, I think she's still upset with me for that one, especially when I admitted I hadn't really seen it.
Yeah, you saw like 3 minutes of it, you're like, yeah, let's give this to Hagan.
Hey, the 3 minutes, they said something about addiction coming to life. I thought it would be a better film.
Why?
Also, I made her watch Vampire Apocalypse. And
Thankfully, I can't remember.
And I think I gave Eric a copy of Lost in Space.
Did you request to talk about the Lost in Space movie, or someone else did that? Someone else.
I think I might have asked you to talk about Lost in Space. So yes, I've got time to review a lot of movies.
Truly, this is the power of being a patron. And then, you know, you can also, the greatest power is to wheedle your way into hanging out with me in real life.
Yeah, I can't afford to be a patron. Not that you ever bring it up. I'm pretty sure the moment I get a job, I'm going to get a message from Zaya saying congratulations, now fucking pay me.
You think I am so what do you call it? Shallow and terrible and evil.
I don't want to answer that without a lawyer present.
It's so hurtful. You're witnessing the end of a friendship.
But what if I need you to officiate another wedding?
Pokemon.
Yes, Pokemon. So yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Unfortunately, there's not as much wackiness stuff. It's kind of too earnest for there to be much for you to pick on.
You know, Pokemon. It's not just a Jamaican guy in taking part in a threesome, encouraging his shy friend to have sex. You know, Pokemon. Pokemon. I just realised we're very low down in this shot. This makes us look tiny.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to edit that or... Oh, sorry.
I can't really edit that. The footage, everything below there doesn't exist in the shot. That doesn't... Oh, there we go.
There we go. You can see my boobs. Now they're really getting their money's worth.
That is the map of Thetis.
Yes, which is not in Pokemon. We keep getting off topic because unfortunately there's not as much as I thought to discuss in this movie.
It's just a lot of crystal nonsense and, you know, a girl who should be stabbed, not being stabbed, inexplicably. Why?
Why do you want this girl to be stabbed? What did she do to you to deserve the stabbing?
I'd say that, you know, it is a main problem. It is a recognised problem with Pokemon that not enough people get stabbed, and, you know, it has been commented on at the time by critics.
Oh, I did find it funny that most of the things that a little girl asked for could be summoned up, but when she asked for a mum, they just kidnap Swan. Like, the imaginary best friend fur daddy. The fur daddy gets conjured. New Pokemon get conjured. Her being
the lion
aged
from
up.
Stephen King.
Yeah.
No, say Steven Universe.
Being aged up. All of that gets imagined, but Daddy, I want a mum like that one. Ah, fuck it, I'll just go get that kid's mum. That will do.
You know, the things that have to happen so the plot can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not enough people get stabbed in Pokemon. I'm back to this.
Okay. I mean, they do have a giant sword Pokemon in Fuhan.
There you go. There's the one with the
Slash.
There's one of those in the English Pokemon thing too. In the wild area, it goes.
You also have that one who's a knight, and it's a bird knight, and its sword is a giant leek.
That's a Welsh Pokemon. That is Rodri the Great in bird form.
Mm. So I'm sensing that you haven't been won over to Pokemon by this film. Would the stabbing have made the difference?
A lot of stabbing would often make the difference because, you know, people get stabbed and therefore, you know, they're no longer unstabbed. So there's a difference there. There's a scene where the lion is running up the wall, sort of like a little bit like Aslan in the shite Narnia film. But it's the wall, it's up a big tower, and the tower has got lots of sort of raised lines on it. And it's, you know, a tower, so it looks like he's running up a big crystal cock. I'm like, well, this is possibly not intended, though it is Japanese, so you never know.
You started commenting on the veininess.
Yeah.
The animation is pretty sweet. At the very start, there's a shot of these flowers, and it almost looks like a romantic or a painting or something, you know.
And then they're all like, "Hey, we're gonna have some like early 2000s pop music as we sing about Pokemon," because, you know, the poor musicians are like, "Oh God, I wanted to be a proper band."
It's so good.
Pokemon Jojo.
If you want to sign up for the full Diamanda Hagan cover of Pokemon Johto, you need to subscribe at the appropriate Patreon tier.
Which is quite expensive, I imagine. Okay, that can be a reward for the $10,000 one.
$10,000, you will do a full rendition of the Pokemon Johto song.
For $5,000, I'll do a full rendition of John Cage's 433.
I'm going to pretend that I'm not alone like you know what that is. Yes, very good.
I'm currently doing a snippet of it. John Cage's 433 is a famous piece of art where there's of music where it's got like it's written down and all, but there's no music. You basically stand there silently for 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Okay, I think we can do this. Hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
This is a reward for patrons. No, we're not. We'll do it for like 30 seconds.
4 minutes and 33 seconds. Counting down.
Okay, that has been your advance look at 433.
What did you do when I get home and see my wives again? What did you do, Maggie? Oh, I stared at a camera and talked bollocks with Zaya for however long.
It's the highlight of your life.
Oh yeah, Castle Ward has nothing on this.
We saw Winterfell yesterday.
Well, you've made videos for that for your patrons, haven't you? You're going to do a big video.
By the time this is up, those videos will be up for patrons in the patron exclusive section. We have a whole bit where it's like, here's a trip I've gone on, and I've taken tiny little clip videos on my phone where I talk bollocks and I edit them together, and hopefully they're amusing.
Right. Also, she's got another video coming up. I'll give you just this brief hint. This is going to be reviewed, but what is this?
I'm not really sure what we'll do with that, but it is a charming little video. I'm sure the footage will end up in something, because the old 6C curator Doctor Who did a cameo to talk about how amazing I am, which didn't really need to hear that, but it was nice to hear that.
You're so modest.
They expect it.
Oh, by the way, since I've got you on camera, when are you going to wrap up that arc with you going over to save the nice version of yourself?
Whenever I'll tell you what happened there. I could not think of another duo of films where I could review, to make it a two-parter again. And that's why I needed that for the gimmick, because it was parallel universe.
Right.
I could not think of one, so I kept putting it back. And I got so far back, and there's still no film like that I'm like, oh well.
What about Sliding Doors?
That's a single film.
I
want two films which are so close they can be parallel universe things. Like, because the previous one was the two Exorcist prequels, which were supposed to be one film, and then it got, they were just two different versions of the same thing.
That?
So that's what happened there.
Oh, Jungle Book. Around the same time, Disney and Netflix both did Jungle Book movies.
Yeah, that's just two films being made at the same time based on the same thing. This one, the Exorcist prequels were a special case.
Right.
Because one was made, and the director was like, I want to make a cerebral type thing without much gore and stuff, and the producers were like, sure, and he makes it. And then they're like, wait a sec, there's no gore here. This is you're making us think too much. This is bad. He's like, I told you I was doing that. And they're like, oh, well, we're firing you. And we're going to hire this hack to do a gory version of this, which is stupid. And he does. And then they put out the stupid one, Exorcist at the beginning, and it flops. And they're like, oh shit, well, we got this other film, because we made two big films. Let's give the director 10,000 fucking quid to do the special effects, the digital effects, and the soundtrack, and then put that out. Ironically, the soundtrack was great, because they just got this random garage band called Dog Fashion Disco to do the theme music, and Satan's March is fucking awesome. It's not the sort of music you get in a film, though. But the CGI is hilariously ropey, but then they put that one out. And it flopped, too, but it's a much better film. Dominion prequel to The Exorcist. So those two are like...
Alright, what about Thunderball and For Your Never Say Never Again?
See, there's a better argument for that.
Because Never Say Never Again is just Thunderball, but done... I say the original writer, or whatever, the guy who owns the concept, thanks to the weird lawsuits,
Yeah.
wanted to do it his way, and that was supposedly his way. And it's got like Sean Connery playing a video game competitively or something. I don't know. I've never actually
That one I
seen
don't know
it.
about. I wouldn't be too surprised, but I don't recall.
But yeah, there you go. Thunderball and Never Say Never Again.
There's a better argument for that. They were going to make a third version of that around the time Pierce Brosnan was born. It was going to be called Aquatar.
Yeah.
Obviously, that never happened.
So,
Anyway, we should probably wrap up. This has been a very, very meandering type thing.
I mean, I it's my bad. There wasn't in the end. I don't think there was as much to say about Pokemon. It was, you know, for Pokemon animated movies, it's fairly decent. It's one of the better ones. It's an earnest, simple movie with a good narrative arc and satisfying conclusion.
Ironically, you know, for Pokemon 3, we discussed Pokemon a total of 3 times.
Okay, well, that's thanks for watching, and like I said, look forward to this.
In some form, it might end up in a Doctor Who video, just a little clip. I don't know. It's.
I think it needs a review. I think it needs an earnest, serious, like when we're talking about, like, yes, the cinematography wasn't great. It was fairly bare bones, but the enthusiasm of his performance was optimal.
He was in the TARDIS. It was just one of the, because the TARDIS has a bunch of different rooms, and that one just happens to look like, you know, Colin Baker's cupboard.
Okay, so yeah, see you next time. She's Diamanda Hagan, and I have to live with that every fucking day.
You don't know the button to press.